Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Writers Corner live show. Here on the Writers Corner live show, we introduce you to both seasoned as well as aspiring new authors. I am your host, Brigetti Lambanda. I'm a global Goodwill ambassador, and I use live streaming for social good to elevate communities, networks, and brands. And my amazing co-host is Mary Elizabeth Jackson. Mary is an award-winning author of the Poolish's children book series. She's currently working on other books as well as writing a movie screenplay. She's a wife and mother of 3 beautiful inspirations. Mary's also a disability advocate, and she lives in Nashville, Tennessee in the USA. And I am in Cape Town in South Africa. So with live streaming, our worlds can collide from wherever we are. Mary, welcome to the show.
Love the introduction. That's wonderful. Yes, it's very exciting how we can do this. And we're coming up on a year that we've co-founded and started this show, and it's super exciting, isn't it? And we have just met so many amazing authors. And I mean, gosh, everybody's it's just so exciting to meet everyone that we've met, hear their stories, their journeys, and then be able to share them with the world. You know, it's really been fun to be able to do that because that's what this platform is about, lifting others up, giving them that place to talk about their books, because all authors want to talk about their books, and, you know, allowing others to see them. And we are, you know, we're jamming, aren't we?
We absolutely are, and I can't wait to bring on our author for today, because we are having Ted Myers as our guest. And Ted says that after 20 years of trembling on the brink of rock stardom and 15 years of working at record companies, he left the music business, or he says perhaps it was the other way around. He took a job as a copywriter at an advertising agency, and this cemented his determination to make his mark as an author, which of course he did. He says his nonfiction has appeared in Working Musicians by Harper Collins. By the time we got to Woodstock, The Great Rock and Roll Revolution of 1969 by Backbeat Books, and Popular Music and Society. And his fiction has appeared online at Literary Stories and in print in the To Hallenbeck Short Story Anthology in 2016. And in 2017, his epic and amusing memoir, Making It, Music, Sex and Drugs in the Golden Age of Rock, was published by Calumet Editions. In 2017 and 2018, more fiction appeared in the Iconoclast magazine, The Mystic Blue Review. So shall we just get him onto the show, and he can tell us his story himself?
Yeah, he's got a very colorful life that we want to hear about. Absolutely. Yes, let's bring him on.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Let's bring him onto the show.
Hello.
Welcome, Ted. It's wonderful to have you as a guest today.
Hi, Ted. How are you?
I'm fine. Great to see you both, to finally meet you in person virtually.
Yeah, right. So rock and roll was your life, huh?
Rock and roll was my life for a good 20 years. And the music business was my life for more like 35 years.
Wow. And
so I came to writing as a vocation rather late in life.
That's okay. It's never too late. It's never too late. I am a poster child for starting at 50 with a writing career, so it's never too late. So
there you go.
When we want to do it, we just have to do it, don't we? And I live in Nashville, so you know this is like Music City crazy here, and every genre you can imagine. And where the town I live in, we have a lot of gospel Christian music families that live up in this area. So now I have to ask you a question before we start. Do you know Melanie Shkarik?
I know exactly who she is, and in fact, she's my friend on Facebook.
Okay.
We did a lot of work with her when I was at Rhino Records.
Okay, awesome. So her daughter is one of my best friends.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she lives right here in this area where I do. So I love Melanie very much, and so Layla, her daughter, and I are very close friends. And my daughter's singing. They're actually getting ready to record one of Layla's songs with a children's book. So it's kind of exciting. But love Melanie, love Bo, love the whole family.
Well, give them my regards. They probably won't know who the hell I am, but you know.
I'm gonna tell him. And when I see Melody, I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna send her this video and go, "Hey, do you know who this guy is on here?"
Yeah, tell her. I used to know her when I worked at Rhino in the 90s.
Okay, all right.
I must tell you both.
Yeah.
I heard the other day of a gentleman who wrote his first book at the age of 94, and I thought, wow.
That's gorgeous. We love it, don't we? Oh man, he needs to rock more.
Well, one thing, you don't have to be pretty to be an author, you know.
No, it's funny that you say that because I just did, I'm doing a guest blog post for Hometown Reads. And so I was talking about the show that Brigetti and I do and using it on social media to help promote others. And I was talking about how I've used local radio, and she was like, she wasn't real familiar with using local radio. And I said, well, it's really great if you have stage fright and you don't want to be on camera. Radio is fantastic for that because nobody knows what you look like and nobody cares.
I've done a lot of radio and audio streaming kind of things. You know, I've only done one of these before, and you guys have got the technical stuff down much better than the people I did it with last time. But
Brigetti is
a whole other story.
Brigetti is the queen. She is the bomb diggity. I'm going to buy her a crown and send it all the way to her in Cape Town so she can wear it when we do our shows.
You do an amazing job. I'm serious. I've watched a number of your shows, and it's the editing and everything is just so smooth.
Yeah, she's really, really good. And I feel really blessed that we are able to do this together. So let's dive into your book. And it released last month, right?
At the end of March, yes.
Okay. Yes, because
beginning of April. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're right about a month out. So did you do a launch party? Did you do any radio or TV or libraries, or what are you doing to promote your book? That's an interesting question to kind of start with, because when you got your books coming out, you really need to do that launch and that push. And so,
well, I didn't do it this time. I didn't do any in-person readings. I did an audio thing called help. It was the author's show. The author's show. Yeah.
Yes, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you actually donate or pay money to be interviewed, right? Is that platform?
No. You don't.
Okay, so it's different than I'm thinking. Okay.
They get you to pay money if you want a copy of your show and you want to archive it.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how they get the money.
Oh, because I told Brigetti about this platform. They've done very well.
And then they've got all kinds of different layers, different levels of promotional packages that they offer. But then so does my publisher, so I didn't buy into any of that.
Yes, we have to do a lot of self-promotion, and whatever you can do to reach people without spending a ton of money is a wonderful thing. But sometimes you do have to spend the money.
I'm doing most of what I'm doing online through social media. I haven't done very much in-person stuff. For one thing, in my area, there's hardly any brick and mortar bookstores left,
right.
And I couldn't get any readings.
Did you try libraries? Did you do the libraries?
I did.
Okay.
They didn't want me either.
We want you, Ted.
Oh, it's great to be wanted.
So I heard something interesting the other day. Someone, what you mentioned is absolutely valid about everything having gone digital. But what this one author was saying the other day that I thought was interesting, and he said, yes, it's great that it's digital, but you do have to, even if you go the digital route, you still need a few print copies. Because if you are at a function or wherever you are, you want to be able to physically say, this is my book. Or if somebody's interviewing you, you want to hold up your book. You can't hold up a digital copy.
There
so
you
let
go.
me put you on full screen there. There we go.
What's the age for your book?
Well, everybody is niche crazy these days. Everybody wants to get you and fit you into a neat category. So my book has been billed as a young adult novel.
Well, and that's one of the hottest age ranges is young adult right now.
Yeah, and I think teenagers will like it at 12 and up. It's not for little kids at all.
Even though it has a cute cat on the front, it's a little deceiving, right?
Oh, sorry?
Because it has a cat on the front, right?
It has a cat on the front, so that's and a cat is the lead character, but it's not for kids especially, and I didn't write it with a target audience in mind at all. And what I find is the reviewers that have been responding and the people that the other authors I've spoken to, they like it because they're animal lovers. And I think it will appeal to animal lovers of all ages.
Sure. Yeah, my mom's a big fan of it's a series, and the cat is like a detective, and has all these crazy adventures that goes on. And my mom is a huge fan of that.
I believe I've seen those, yeah.
She has that whole book series, and she says, oh, this cat gets into the craziest things and stuff. But, Brigetti, you're right about, when you go to, if you're interviewed on TV or radio, you want to leave a copy of your book for them. I know around here, when you go to a library, you have to donate a book. It's kind of that give and take type thing. And obviously, if you have copies, physical copies, you can turn around and make some money off of those because you get a discount when you're purchasing them from your publisher, if you are traditionally published or with a small indie press or something. So you're exactly correct on what you're saying about that.
Yeah, I bought a dozen hard copies of the book, and I've run out of them already. So
sure, I bet.
I have to get some more.
Yeah.
So Ted, your book essentially, with the main character being a cat, is the actual story based on any real life people, characters that you built the story around, or is it entirely fictional?
It's entirely fictional. The cat was inspired by my cat, who passed away a couple of years ago, Rocky. But my heroine is the cat in my book is a girl cat.
Okay, gotcha.
Girl cat. Anyway, so it's science fiction. It's dystopian, but at the same time, it's hopeful and positive in its message. So I've tried to, I've done something that I haven't seen before in any of the science fiction stuff that I've read or heard about. It's a cat whose brain has evolved over the last 100 years into being as smart as humans and many other domestic animals, dogs, cats, mice, and a few pigs have also evolved from animals that were experimented on by geneticists.
Interesting.
And this idea came from a real experiment that happened in 2015 that I heard about on the news, where they injected elements of human DNA into the brains of unborn mice. And the mice came out 12% smarter than the average mouse. So I did a sort of what if scenario and projected into the future. What if they started to do this with dogs and cats, and then some pigs, and pretty soon the population of animals on the world are about like, 1/3 GAB, genetically altered brain animals.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I was wondering where the thought came from. Like what got you on that line of thinking? I mean, it's brilliant that it's a tribute to your cat, but I was wondering what inspired the actual storyline.
So the news actually did something good. It was good. It did something helpful, right?
Well, these were experiments. This was, you'd have to file it under unintended consequences of experiments that started in the early 21st century, and now it's the 22nd century. And there's a lot of animals that are as smart as human beings, and they have the powers of telepathy and telekinesis because they can't grasp. So they can move objects with their minds, and they can speak to each other telepathically, but people can't hear them without a computer.
Oh, okay.
There's more, but
I love it. That's awesome. That's great creativity. That's amazing. And just it's so interesting how things in life inspire us for stuff and where the inspiration comes from. It just can come from the smallest thing or even the largest thing. And it's so fascinating, isn't it?
It's happening. All the things in my book are happening much faster than I expected. They are now they have a computer program that gives audio to thoughts.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about like, did you see the movie? Oh, it's the kid movie, Raining the Meatballs. Oh, what is it called? Oh my gosh, my children would know. Anyway,
Cloudy with Meatballs.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah. No, I didn't see that one. But...
Oh, he put the voice recorder on the monkey so that it would audio say whatever the monkey was thinking.
Well, they have it now, apparently. They've already got it.
Oh, good gracious.
And
we're in trouble when you go to the zoo.
and you want to really get scared. The Chinese are doing these experiments with chimpanzees.
Oh, no.
So it's like, okay, so they're going to put human DNA into chimps. The chimps are smart enough. I mean, you want to make them smarter.
They are.
Yeah,
and they have an opposable thumb.
Right. You know what's good? There's going to be a chimpanzee takeover. They're going to put us in the cages at the zoo.
Planet of the Apes coming our way.
There's your next book, Ted, right there.
Been done.
I know, but you can give it your flair, and it'll.
Some scary stuff. We're going to take a short break to thank our sponsor. When we come back, Ted, we'd like to know what your journey was like transitioning into being an author.
Okay.
And we're back. Ted, tell us, what was that transition like for you becoming an author? And are you now do you consider yourself a full-time writer as we speak?
Yes, I do. I'm officially I'm retired. I never expected to make a living as a writer, and I have no reason to expect to make a living as a writer.
You can't go into it.
I mean, really, nobody does, you know. I mean,
You can't go into it for that because, you know, you really have to have a passion for it, and you want to put your words out there, and you want to entertain people, because it is so inundated with competition for books. And not one person can write all the books in the world for everybody, but still, if you go into it going, oh, I'm going to make all this money. I mean, that's very rare that it happens. It
right.
does, but yes, you have to go into it for other reasons.
I'm definitely doing it for as a creative outlet for myself. I've always been a creative type. When I was a kid in school, I was an artist. I would do a lot of drawing, and I would draw caricatures of my teachers and get into all kinds of trouble. And then I got into a high school that was in New York City, the High School of Music and Art, as an art major. And so while I was being an art major in high school, I started to get friendly with the music students, and I was playing guitar at the time. So I started playing folk music in the coffee houses in Greenwich Village. And as soon as the Beatles came along, I plugged in along with everybody else and started my first band in college in 1964. By 1965, we were signed to Capitol Records. So we were label mates with the Beatles, you know.
Oh, wow.
It was a heady experience. And so we became sort of local celebrities in Boston. And after that era passed, I moved to California. I started to dabble in writing screenplays. Never sold one. But
they're hard. That's hard. That's hard to sell one.
Wrote a bunch, and came close a couple of times. Got nibbles. Got producers taking me to networks and things like that. But none of it ever happened. All my rock bands got signed to record labels, however. And so after a 15-year career at record companies, I started writing again. I took some courses. I learned how to write for advertising, and I got a job as an advertiser, as a copywriter for ad agencies. And from there, I started to aspire to more creative writing. And when I retired, that's what I did.
So you're like, Brigetti, we're talking to like ground. I mean, you're a legend. You're an icon, man. You started back when all that started. I mean, that's an amazing part of our music history in this world.
I'm more of a rumor than a legend, but that's okay.
He's more of a rumor. Ted, I love your sense of humor. It's beautiful. Okay, so Ted the rumor, you did some amazing stuff.
I've had a very interesting life, and my first book was a memoir.
Okay, good. I was going to say, if you haven't written one, you need to write one, because that's where Melanie got her start, was in New York City.
Yeah, that's right. I remember her records well. I mean, she was in the early 70s, and I was in my prime at that point. So I remember her.
She opened for Woodstock.
I remember her roller skate song. And
yes, yeah.
Lay Down Candles in the Rain. That was a big hit.
Yeah, and Miley Cyrus has done a lot of her covers in the last couple of years.
Well, the songs are still relevant.
I know. And it's so cool to sit and talk to her and hear like what her inspirations were, like what we're sitting here doing with you right now, like your inspirations for what you did and being creative. And, those things affect so many people in the world, your world around you. And then if you get to have the luck in life to be able to reach out to millions, I mean, it's just so fascinating. I mean, what a treat this morning, right, Brigetti?
Absolutely. Can I ask you something? You've had such a rich and full life. If you had to give your younger self some advice, what would that be?
Don't be so lazy.
Amen.
Love it.
I agree. Yes.
I was gifted with a lot of talents, and I did what came easy to me, but I didn't know the meaning of hard work until I got into the actual working world, where you get up in the morning and go to a job.
Yeah, that's still chronic disease in the
I didn't
world.
have to do that until I was, like 40 years old or something like that.
Wow.
So in my teens and 20s, when I was in the rock bands, it was all a lark, and I was writing songs like crazy. I mean, they were just come pouring out of me. It was effortless, and I didn't realize that to do anything and be a success at it, you have to really work hard. And
Yes, you do.
So I've changed my ways. I now work hard.
You're not a rebellious teenager anymore. Yeah, at least you can work ethic.
I'm a rebellious old guy.
I can see that about you.
Do you wish that you started your writing career at a younger age, or do you kind of feel it was a nice progression from where you come from?
I have no regrets. I think it was a perfectly good, natural progression for me. I ran my course as an artist and a musician and a songwriter for as long as I felt relevant, for as long as I felt that the music I was doing was relevant and valuable, to the world. And once I felt that it wasn't, I moved on, Fortunately,
it's kind of like, when is it, to kind of ride the wave at the right time, and then know when to transition into something else. Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately, pop music writing is different than pop music. Literature doesn't come in and out of style, especially. What I write isn't meant to be current or topical, or so I hope that in 20 or 30 or 100 years, people still get a kick out of my books. Of course, this one, Fluffy's Revolution, is about the future. So it's sort of like reading 1984 now. We already had that.
Yeah, right.
And it didn't come true. So.
Oh, like 1999, our favorite Prince song.
Yeah, right. Gonna party like it's 1999.
Yes.
Wonderful. Ted, it's been amazing getting to know you a little bit better, and I can't believe we're just about out of time. Can you tell people how they can connect with you and where they can find your books?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, it's on Amazon and all the usual online booksellers. Black Rose Writing is my publisher, and it's available on their website as well, and you can get a discount if you know the code.
You want to give what the code is? Give people what the code is.
I believe it's NR15.
Okay.
You can get a 15% discount, so get it cheaper than Amazon from.
We'll give a shout out to Black Rose Writing.
And Fluffy has her own website, fluffysrevolution.com. And if you go there, you get links to all of my other social media. Okay. And I have a blog as well.
So follow Ted the Rumor.
The rumors are all true.
I love that. I love that. Ted, it was wonderful, wonderful connecting with you and hearing a little bit about your backstory and getting to know you. So thank you. It was an absolute pleasure having you, and we'd love to have you back again sometime. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
So huge big thank you to everyone for joining us today, and we'll be back again next week, same time, same place, and we look forward to connecting with you again. So from me, Brigetti Limbanda, it's goodbye for now.
And from me, Mary Elizabeth Jackson, it's goodbye from Tennessee.
Bye,
Have to
everyone.
meet Ted Myers.